डूबती नैया को जैसे मिल गया किनारा,
डूबती नैया को जैसे मिल गया किनारा,
चमक उठा हम सबका भाग्य सितारा, डूबती नैया को जैसे मिल गया किनारा, सफल हो गया तन मन, सफल हो गया तन मन तेरी आज्ञा पर चलकर,
हार जाए हम बाबा आपकी श्रीमत पर,
बलिहार जाए हम बाबा आपकी श्रीमत पर। शिव अवतरण की खुशखबरी हम सबको सुनाएंगे,
शिव अवतरण की खुशखबरी हम सबको सुनाएंगे,
आबू तीरथ राज है हम सबको बताएंगे,
आबू तीरथ राज है हम सबको बताएंगे,
ओ शिव अवतरण की खुशखबरी हम सबको सुनाएंगे, आप तीरथ राज है हम सबको बताएंगे, झूम झूम कर नाचेंगे, हाँ झूम झूम कर नाचेंगे तेरे मधुबन में आकर,
हार जाए हम बाबा आपकी श्रीमत पर,
बलिहार जाए हम बाबा आपकी श्रीमत पर।
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, good morning.
Today, on request of the family, and we all have gathered few questions. So we have Tina Ben with us, who shall clarify and give us a path forward on these questions that we have. Basis the three Murlis that we read in this week. That's Murli dated 18th January 2009, 5th February 2009, and 22nd February 2009. You're also open to take questions. If any, apart from this, you want to have a clarification basis these Murlis. So over to you, Tina Ben.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. How did you feel listening to this song? This is going to be a little bit of interactive session. So I would really love if you all talk. Yeah. Just as you love to hear my voice, I will assume I also would love to hear your voices. So how did you feel listening to this song?
It was super sensuous joy.
There was super sensuous joy. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? This song always reminds us of our promise to Baba, right? That I will follow your every footstep, right? And there is so much happiness. There is so much love for Baba in this song. And so one of the things that Baba does, when he comes, and he spoke in 18th January 2009 Murli, that I have given you 40 years of Avyakt sustenance, right? And so somebody has asked, what is Avyakt sustenance? Basically, when Brahma Baba is not in the physical form, right? He's left the corporeal form, he's become an incorporeal, or you can say Avyakt angel, right? The angelic form. And then when you go to subtle region, you meet Bapdada, right? Those who have experience of subtle region, you go in the subtle region in your angelic form and you meet Bapdada there in his angelic form. But also when we meet Bapdada in Madhuban, they both come, right? And so Baba says, Bapdada kere, Bapdada is saying. So both of them come and they give us sustenance, right? So that is Avyakt sustenance, basically, that even till date, Baba is sustaining us children, right? Through his love, through his powers, through his knowledge, through his vibrations. So that is Avyakt sustenance that Baba is giving us. So not necessary that, oh, I didn't see Baba, so how can I receive Baba's sustenance? No, I still have the right and I still can claim that sustenance from Baba. So that is Avyakt sustenance. There was another question, how to remain constantly immersed in God's love? And I love this question because, you know, one of the things that Baba did a couple of days back in the Murli, he said, you children have promised me on the path of devotion, and then you children have promised me after coming into the path of knowledge. So how are you going to fulfill that promise? And he reminded those of you who remember the Murlis, he reminded us that on the path of devotion, we used to say, whenever you come, we will surrender to you. And then after coming into knowledge, we said, we will sit with you, we will eat with you, we will do everything with you, right? I will only belong to you. So this is our promise. And then the answer he gave is, forget all bodily relationships, including your own body, and remember me alone. That was the day one. And then next day, children are asking Baba, but how can we forget these bodily relationships? How can I forget my own body? And Baba says in the answer that forge all relationships with me. And when I am able to forge all relationships with Baba, when I'm able to experience the attainment of every relationship with Baba, then it is very easy for me to not forget Baba. It's very easy for me to remember Baba. Actually, forgetting Baba would become difficult because I've forged a relationship with him as father, as mother, as teacher, as guru, as my friend, as my beloved, as my companion, and as my child, right? He said, make me your child. So that is the answer, I feel. All relationships, if you can forge with Baba, then you will be able to experience, you know, being merged in Baba's love. But also one time Dadi Janki had said that Bhagwan ki महिमा जो जानता है और उस रीति से फिर गाता है तो उसे प्यार मिलता है. That means one who knows God and then praises God based on the knowing the praise of God, he receives God's love, right? And so I am the one who have to increase the knowledge about God, who God is. You know, how do I know? So by experiencing, by knowing that, the more you know about, it's like when a girl and a boy meets, right? They don't know each other, but the more they meet, the more there is communication. And what happens in that communication is that they get to know each other. Now, more I get to know this boy, the more I get to know his qualities, and more I get to know his qualities, more I develop love for him, right? This is how the relationship is built. So similarly with Baba, the more I know Baba, the more I know Baba's qualities, the more I know Baba's sanskars, the more I know what Baba is doing, why he has come, you know, then that will allow me to increase love for Baba, right? So basically, that is how you would experience. And then there was also this this teacher who once told us that in everything you do, in a very practical way, if you can experience God's presence, so use your all senses to experience Baba. So let's say, for example, I will say, I see Baba, I hear Baba, or I listen to Baba, I talk to Baba, I feel Baba, I touch Baba, I do all things with Baba, I enjoy Baba's company, I love Baba, I thank Baba, I praise Baba, I remember Baba, and I will always have all relationships with Baba. I walk with Baba, I sleep with Baba, I follow Baba, I surrender to Baba, right? So in every sense perception, if you can involve his presence, if you can invoke his presence, then your love for Baba will increase a lot, right? And that's how you would know. You would know, you know, Baba is with you because he wants to be with you. Sometimes you would feel that Baba is ahead of me. Perhaps he wants to guide you, he wants to lead you. Sometimes you would feel Baba is behind me. Maybe he wants to support you, right? But he's all around you. Yeah, his remembrance is all around you. So that when you bring him more and more and more into the present moment, into your every practical life, you know, routine, whatever you're doing, the more love you will experience with Baba. And then there was this question, how should we go about in setting up a timetable for the mind? Now, this is an interesting question, and I think everybody would have their own answers. So there is no right or wrong, answer for this, whatever you feel from the Murli of that day or previous day at Amrit Vela, if you think that this is what I'm going to do today, this is what I'm going to practice today. So some people actually practice every hour, they will have a self-respect point and they'll say, for this hour, I will practice this self-respect point. So whole time your mind is actually thinking about that self-respect point. Sometimes they use, what I do is I will use my mind for serving that place wherever I am. So let's say in the morning, I'm in the center. So I'll use my mind to serve the center. If I am, after that I go to my office, so then I will use my mind to serve the people or the colleagues in my office, workplace. And then I am at home, so I will use my mind to serve or to create beautiful thoughts of service at home. If I go to marketplace or if I go to get groceries, then I will use my mind to create thoughts that will, serve those people who are there in the market at that time. So you use your mind, you utilize your mind to create thoughts of service wherever you are at a particular time, like that. You could do that. Or the other option is you remind your mind to contemplate on the Murli points. So whatever is your day looks like, if you can just stop for 1 minute at every hour and then say, what did Baba say in the blessing today? Just simple. You keep it simple if it's very hard for you to remember. And if you don't remember, it's okay. Just open your notebook, look at the blessing, read it again. And then next hour again, you say, what did Baba say in the blessing today? And you connect with Baba and see that Baba is actually giving you that blessing as if you're in front of Baba and Baba is giving you that blessing. So that's like a timetable for the mind. That mind has to always constantly remember some point of Murli. It could be answer, it could be what was the song in the Murli today, it could be what was the slogan of the Murli today. So you create a timetable in that sense. Every hour you stop and ask, what was it? And then the mind will think about it for the rest of the hour, naturally and automatically it will happen. Yeah. And then there was the question, what kind of thoughts should be created in supporting the feeling of detachment? And the feeling that I feel is that, guest consciousness. If you have guests at your home, they might like your dining table, for example, or they might like your your living room, the furniture, the decoration, but they will never say, I'm going to take this away with me just because I like it, right? No, because why they won't do it? Because they're guests in that home. That's why. Similarly, if you have the consciousness of an actor, then you know that I'm on the stage, I have to play this part, and once this part is done, then I have to go home. Or the awareness of time, that this is the time to return back home. That also helps in feeling detached, that not much time is left. So I'm going to be in this house only for 2 more months. So will I be attached to this house, or will I bring anything new in this house? Perhaps not, because I know I'm going to leave. And similarly, when you're on a journey, you never get stuck. Even suppose you are from a journey to point A to point B to point C to point D, and then you're going to come back home, point A. Now, if you go to point B, you love the scene, you love the nature, you love everything, but you're not going to stay there, right? You're not going to be stuck with that scene. You will say, no, now let's move ahead. Let's go to point C, right? And then same thing with point C, you're not going to be there forever just because you like it, right? Because you know that you're on a journey. And that automatically creates a feeling of detachment. So there are these 4 practices. One is you practice being a guest, practice being an actor, practice being on a journey, and practice being having the consciousness of the time, that this is the time to return back home, practice being detached observer in that way. Yeah. Then there was question how to increase one's positive energy to create the atmosphere wherever you go. Because one of the things Baba said, he was talking about 40, right? 40 years of sustenance. And he said that zero is the father's thing about zero, right? Somebody asked, why does Baba call himself zero? Actually, Baba calls himself zero because the form is like zero. The form is point of light. It is not in its values or it is not in its capacity that Baba says he's zero, right? He's ocean in his capacity. His value is no, you can't even put a value actually. But out of humility, it's also a sign of humility, you know, that I am zero, but or at the same time having the self-respect that I am hero, right? So Baba calls himself zero only because of the form. The form is like oval, point of light, like that. That's the reason. And so when Baba was saying there is four after that, and he said four things, right? That you have to be Shubh Chintak for others, you have to do Shubh Chintan for yourself, you have to have Shubh Vritti so that the atmosphere can be built. And then you should have this Shubh Smriti, if you will, about zero and being hero. And the third point that he said that you should have an elevated attitude. So wherever you go, you create an atmosphere. And I think for this one, you really need to have a stock of positive thoughts. Really need to have the stock of positive thoughts. So you have to ask yourself, suppose I have to go from Pune to Bombay. And if I just drive my car, if I just go to the parking lot and start driving, what will happen? If I didn't check if my tank is full or not, then in the way it will stop, right? I will have to stop and then fill my tank first, and only then I'll be able to reach the destination, right? But if from the point A itself, if I fill the tank and go, perhaps I won't have to even stop on the way, right? And so this is the same thing. If I have to go to some place and I know that I'm going to go to this place, or even if I don't know, in the morning itself at Amrit Vela, when you sit with Baba, you check your stocks, right? If all your stocks are full, and especially the stock of positive thoughts. Do I have enough positive thoughts? Do I get upset if somebody says something negative to me? Do I feel bad when somebody ignores me? You know, these things means that there isn't enough stock of positive thoughts. But if I have a lot of stock of positive thoughts, then even if some weeds prop up, the positivity will overrule it, right? And that's how if you have stock of positive thoughts, thought is what gives rise to attitude, right? Eventually, the vibration is from the thoughts. And so if I have positive thoughts, automatically the vibrations will be positive and the atmosphere will naturally and automatically become positive, right? Does that make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
So, you know, just having some pure thoughts, and especially Murli is the best source of filling yourself with positive thoughts. Like, I am not ordinary, right? I am incognito. Maybe I look ordinary in this body, but I am very special child of Baba, right? I have this extraordinary ability. I am ambassador. I am instrument of Baba, right? I am helper of God. And so wherever I go, I have to help Baba by creating atmosphere of purity and love and patience, like that. So you create pure and positive thoughts. And the more you do this, the atmosphere will become beautiful, no doubt about it. Yeah. So these were some of the questions. There was also a question about why Amrit Vela is so important, right? And they said that they do experience some challenge in practicing this dharana, doing Amrit Vela. So there are many, many, many reasons. It's out of scope to cover all of them in this little time period that we have. But I feel that if you, there is a book by Spark Wing on it says Amrit Vela. You should read that book. But also just in essence, in nutshell, if I have to say one, it is discipline of the yogi life. So if I say I am a yogi, and it's a lifestyle, not that I'm yogi for 2 hours or I'm yogi of one. We say I am living a yogi life. So if it's a yogi life, then that is one of the disciplines of yogi life. But also at that time, the conscious mind of majority of the people is sleeping, right? And so conscious thoughts or negative thoughts or vicious thoughts are not present so much in the environment. And that's why time is very cooperative and the mind and intellect is very cooperative, especially at that time period. And so we say that if you remember Baba at that time, it will be easy for you to forge a connection with the Supreme Soul. Plus, the big reason is, Baba says, even if there are staunch devotees, very intense devotees, they also get up at 5 a.m. So 4 a.m. really Baba is just fully available for his children. He's absolutely free. He doesn't have to entertain the devotees, or he doesn't have to, listen to the callings of the seekers or anybody else, because they all get up only after 5. So if I get up a little bit early, I get a little bit more extra attention of Baba, right? One time I remember Rajubhai was sharing this experience with us when he was doing a class for us, and he said, Didi asked him one time that, who are you? Just walking in the courtyard. He must be new Kumar or something. And Didi asked, who are you? And he said, I am a Kumar. I am so-and-so. And so Didi said, you're not just BK, you're not just a Kumar, but you are a Tapasvi Kumar. And being a Tapasvi Kumar, if you don't do Amrit Vela, you cannot call yourself as true Brahmin. The sign of a true Brahmin is that they will perform they will practice this principle of Amrit Vela, right? And so it is the time of accumulating an income. If you know businessmen, right? If they were to know that this is the time to accumulate income, they will not sleep, right? My parents are in business, and my brother is in business, and during Diwali, they have maximum business. So they'll come home at like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night. And why? What makes them stay up like that? I sometimes wonder, but they know that this is the time for income. So they're not going to sleep. They cannot sleep. And even after sleeping at 12 and 1, they are able to get up early in the morning at 6 and open the store at 7. Again, why? Because they know it's the time of earning, right? So if I put that in my head here, that Amrit Vela is the time of earning, right? It is the beginning of the day. And how do I set that time will take care of my rest 23 hours, right? If you will. So if you give yourself these inspiring thoughts, if you remind yourself some of those things, then it will be very, very easy for you to do Amrit Vela. And one thing I feel, I don't know whose question this is, but maybe you can add if you have more challenging experience. If you are a beginner, especially, then I agree that this is very true. Amrit Vela is not like going to your auntie's home, right? It's very tough, but you have to make a little extra effort. You have to push yourself, like any new beginning, whether you start doing exercise, whether you start learning some language, whether you do something new, you have to push yourself a little bit in the beginning, right? You don't like it, but when you push yourself a little bit in the beginning, then eventually you start getting experiences. You conquer laziness then, and it's very easy to then remember Baba at that time. So if you are a beginner, then tell yourself that it's okay. Even if you get up for 10 minutes, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm giving you this leeway, especially if you're new, that even if you get up for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and you go to Baba's room, wherever your Baba's picture is, and you sit there and you say good morning to Baba, and you do this constantly, Baba will help you. Baba will help you to get that experience, and that experience will then make you move forward. And I can share my own experience. When I came into knowledge, I was like 17, 18 years old. And I was a science student, so I used to study late at night, sometimes till 2, sometimes till 1. And never ever in my life I had gotten before like 6:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. And even though I had exams at 7:30, I would still get up at 6:30 or something like that. I would never got up early. So one time Baba said a lot about Amrit Vela in the Murli, and being his good child, right? We all want to follow his Srimad. So I went to my teacher and I told her that this is so difficult. I want to do it. It is my desire to do it. And I'm willing to put some effort, but even if I try hard, it's not happening. I'm not able to get up. And then she gave me a very beautiful suggestion. In India, you used to play tape recorders at that time, where you would put the cassette and you just had to hit the play button and the song would start. So she said, keep your alarm close to that. close to that tape recorder. And when you get up to turn off your alarm, you switch on the play button and some song will play, whichever your favorite song is. Maybe you can put that. And when that song will play, instantly you would remember Baba, no? You'd start experiencing Baba's love. I used to love Baba's songs. So sometimes and that I did for one whole year without a break. I did that for one whole year. And that year was my best year of Amrit Vela, best experiences of Amrit Vela. Till date, I feel that is the effort that I made is sustaining me, you know. So try, create some yuktis for yourself and see what can be helpful to you. Sometimes you can ask a friend of yours to call you, friend who's in Gyan, a BK friend to call you and see if that can support you. So you have to create some yuktis around it. In the beginning, it is challenging, but if Baba is saying it's possible and it's useful and it's beneficial and it's advantage, then why not? I give in a little bit extra thought to it, a little bit extra effort to it. Right? Yes, everyone? We will try, right? To do good Amrit Vela from tomorrow onwards, right? Today's is gone. So from tomorrow onwards, do powerful Amrit Vela. Somebody asked, what is Brahmin code of conduct? Brahma Muhurat is the Brahmin code of conduct. If you want to call yourself Brahmins, you should get up at Amrit Vela. Brahma Muhurat, Brahma Gyan, that means the Murli class, is the code of Brahmins. If you miss a Murli class, you shouldn't call yourself a BK, right? We write no, BK Tina, BK Rakhi, like that. We write no. We take pride in writing BK so and so, right? Because we are Brahmas, Kumars and Kumaris. And so we have to understand Brahma Gyan, which is Murli. So how much am I able to pay attention during Murli class? How regular I am, how punctual I am, how, right consciousness am I being in that present moment when I'm listening to the Murli class. That is Brahmin code. Third, Brahma Bhojan. So how pure is my diet? Am I eating food that is offered to Baba? Dadi Janki said this, or I don't remember, but some senior said they never ever ate a fruit which was not offered to Baba. If you bring fruits in your home, if you eat something, you offer it to Baba, and then you eat it. It will heal your body. And there is a saying that bhog lagane se bhognai mitti hai. That means if I offer food to Baba and then I eat that, then lot of my accounts get settled. It's very easy way to settle accounts. It's very easy way to transform the hearts of your family members, right? So experiment with this and see how Brahma Bhojan impacts your mind, and your principles become very easy to follow. The fourth one is Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means celibacy, period. There is no but, if, thoda, little bit once in a week, not like that. It's complete celibacy. And then Brahmachari. Brahmachari means one who follows the acharan of Brahma, one who follows the characteristics, the personality, the steps of Brahma Baba. So that actually is a big subject, but it is, in essence, it is complete purity. Sampurna Pavitrata is involved in that, which also includes purity of your thoughts, purity of your words, purity of your actions, purity of your mind, purity of your body, purity of your wealth, all of that. And there are a lot of details about this, what quality of thoughts I should create. Baba teaches us that, no? How should your thoughts be? And your body, I should wear clean clothes. I should wear ironed clothes, not because, oh, I'm a BK, I'm a renunciate, now I will wear toned sari. Not like that, right? You have to wear proper clothes. You have to wear clothes according to Brahmin Maryada, which is, even if you're wearing clothes for your Lokik job, right? Let's say you're wearing color clothes, no problem at all. But they shouldn't be too tight, or they shouldn't be too not transparent, or they shouldn't be body revealing. There should still be a royalty in that dressing, right? Similarly, you should maintain cleanliness of your home, your environment, right? Your kitchen, your bathroom, all of that is involved in that. If you go for bowel movement, you should take shower All of that is Brahmin Maryada, right? So that is Brahmachari. So 5 things: Brahma Murt, Brahma Gyan, Brahma Bhojan, Brahmacharya, and Brahmachari. And similar question was asked again, what is being Brahmachari versus Brahmachari? In the Murli, Baba has said Brahmachari. Brahmacharya we all understand, right? Brahmacharya is Brahmachari, but Brahmachari, Brahmachari means following the acharan of Brahma Baba, like that. There was then another question, what is the difference between Man Mana Bhav and Madhyaji Bhav? Man Mana Bhav is very simple, be mine with your mind, M capital. That means Baba says you become mine with your mind. That means forge your mind with Shiv Baba. So your mind is constantly connected with Baba. And when I'm able to be stable in Man Mana Bhav, the result of that is Madhyaji Bhav. Madhyaji Bhav means you will become like the one who's standing in the between. Who is standing in the between? Who will answer this? Who is standing? Vishnu. So the image, you must have seen in the course, there is a lesson on God being creator, sustainer, and destroyer. So they have Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. So Vishnu is the one who's standing in between. And the aim and objective of us Brahmins is to become like Vishnu, right? Nar aisi karni kare, jo nar Shri Narayan bane, like that. So I have to become like that. So when I am stable in Man Mana Bhav stage, I will be able to become Madhyaji Bhav. That means I will be able to be like Vishnu. I will develop those characteristics, right? So now we move to the next Murli, which is of the 5th. Any, you want to add anything? Anybody you want to ask any question? Are you all okay with this? What you have heard so far?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah? Okay. But if you have questions, yes, Seema Ben, yeah.
Yeah, I got this answer very good, that I knew what Vishnu means, but the way you have connected, Manmana Bhav with Madhyaji, so there is also another one, Mamekam Yadkar. So how is this connected? I mean, all 3 are connected, no?
Mamekam Yadkaro is not, it's same as Man Mana Bhav, basically. Mamekam Yadkaro is basically remember me alone, Baba says. So, but Man Mana Bhav and Madhyaji Bhav is you do this and you will get this. It's like that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so then we move to the next Murli, which was the Murli of the 5th of February, 2009. And Baba has talked about how you should have this double light stage, angelic stage constantly, especially when you're on the field of action, when you're doing service, right? So people can get that experience of Baba's virtues, Baba's light, Baba's might from you, being God's angels, right? And so Baba was, somebody asked, what are the 3 forms of the Father? Now, usually the 3 forms of Shiv Baba are that he is our father, mother, and teacher. Father, teacher, and Satguru, right? He always says that I am your father, I give you the inheritance, I am your teacher, I give you the knowledge, and I am your Satguru, I liberate you and take you into salvation. But also, so those are the 3 forms in which we always remember Baba. Of course, we remember him as child, we remember him as beloved, but these 3 forms come in very naturally. And then sometimes, which is not in the Murli here, but in general, I'm sharing this. Sometimes we do talk about Baba as being Sakari, Akari, and Nirakari. And so Baba comes in the Sakar form, right, in order for teaching us children, so that he can teach us. Like day before yesterday only, Baba said in the Murli that why do I come? I come only for you children, right? So we were talking about this in our class, and we were saying, why does Baba come down only for me? He's saying, why he's not saying that he comes for the whole world. Of course, through me, they say ascending stage. When you are in the ascending stage, then everybody goes in the ascending stage. But why Baba is coming only for me? Because he has to teach me. He can't teach by sitting up there, right? And so that is the Sakari form, that Baba comes in the Sakar form. Baba comes in the corporeal body of Brahma and teaches us. Then in the Akari form, that means when Brahma becomes complete, then when we go to subtle region, Shiv Baba is seen in Brahma's angelic form, right? So we see Shiv Baba in Brahma Baba's angelic form. So that is Akari form. And of course, when we go to the Supreme Abode, we do experience him in the incorporeal form. So those are also his three forms in which sometimes we remember him, right? There was this question, an angel means one who is light in relationships, sanskars and thoughts in the old world, light even in the old sanskars. So what does this mean? So this, in very simple terms, it means that you don't take anything personally, period. Just be aware that everybody is an actor, everybody is acting, everybody has been given a job to do, and they're doing it. And they're doing it perfectly. So I don't need to take anything personally, because when I take it personally, then I feel, oh, they hurted me, or they accused me, or they insulted me, or they ignored me, or they rejected me. And all of this then creates fluctuation in my stage, right? I no longer am an angel. I get stuck in what they did and how they spoke and how they treated me, right? But instead, even if somebody is treating you badly, even if somebody is ignoring you, even if somebody is rejecting you, can you be angel? I have to ask myself, can I still be stable and create good thoughts? I don't know how many of you know this, but whenever Dadi Kumarka used to be in the gathering and Baba used to give Toli, Baba would always ignore her and then give it to her at the end. Similarly, Dadi Janki says whenever Baba used to give Drishti, he would ignore her and then come back eventually and give it to her last. But they never had any change in the feelings of their heart. Their heart still had the same amount of love for Baba. But imagine if you are sitting in a gathering and you are in front of Brahma Baba and Baba doesn't look at you, how will you feel? Something will happen, right? But this is the practice that I should be able to do then. Whether Lokik, whether a Lokik, whether a person I know, whether a stranger, whoever it is, if they reject me, if they ignore me, it is their problem, right? Really, nothing to do with me. So why should I take it personally? If you talk to me, good. If you don't talk to me, even better, right? I will not have extra thoughts. So you have to increase your self-respect and be very light with sanskars of others. Sanskars of my own self also. Sometimes we take tension about my own old sanskars and not able to handle my sanskar of getting jealousy. For example, I feel jealous and I don't like it. It's a shadow side of mine. So then I am not comfortable with the sanskar. But will it help me? I have to acknowledge it first that, okay, I have the sanskar, and then I have to mold it. I have to figure out what is the reason, why is this happening, and then work around it rather than taking tension. Oh, I have jealousy. I don't know what to do. I don't know how this will happen, right? So this is like taking burden of that sanskar. But Baba is saying, stay light. An angel means they will be light, whether it is sanskars of others, whether it is sanskar of mine, whether it is relationships with others, whether it is relationship with my own self, with my own mind. If my mind is not stable, sometimes we take tension of that also, right? Why my mind is not connecting to Baba, why my mind is not connecting to Baba, why I'm not able to sleep. So these kinds of questions, right, create burden. But I have to be light. I have to be okay. It's okay. No big deal. Let's do something, like that. So that's what it really means. To be light means not to take any burden of that sanskar, of that relationship. Yeah. There was this big question. What do you mean by becoming karmatit? How does one become karmatit? What efforts and methods can one deploy to become karmatit, give some practical methods. And similarly, there was question, what is karmatit stage? Now, karmatit stage just means no karmic bondage. You are in the body, you are performing your actions, you are fulfilling your responsibilities, you're working towards your roles and everything, but you don't feel any bondage to any action. And it's a step-by-step process. It's not that Baba says, no, at the end you will become. But in your daily timetable also, there can be moments of experiencing karmatit stage. That means somebody said that atit karmo ka atma par zara bhi prabhav na rahe. That means the actions that I've performed in the past should not have any influence on the soul. That is karmatit stage, right? You're living in the body, but you're not pulled by that action. That scene, you're not playing it again and again and again in your mind, right? You're free, you've done, it's done. Like you do your part, right? I do my part, and then I don't need to worry about the fruit of that action, right? I don't need to think about what will be the fruit of that action, whether it will happen, whether it will not happen, how will it happen, how will this work out? Don't think all of that. Don't go into that. It's not necessary, because you cannot force anything. You can't go into the future. You can't force anything. You cannot go into the past. You cannot change anything. You can only work in the present. You can only control your present. And so if I do my present, if I do my part now, then that's what is karmatit stage. But let's say if I do, I work in the laboratory and I'm doing some research and I'm doing this experiment, which is linked to 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. And suppose what I did today, and I am now thinking after coming, will this work? Will this work? Will tomorrow I get the good results? Will I have to repeat it? This is bondage of the karma. But instead, if I did something at work, I did it, I finished it, and then I dissociate myself with it and I become free, right? That is karmatit stage. How can you experience it is basically you do the same thing. Like you don't think about what is the practical method. Somebody asked. The practical method is, like I said, the example of working in the lab and then thinking about the results, because it's very common for us to think, but I have to kind of practice. No, it's okay. Whatever the result is, I'll work around it. So constantly reminding yourself that I did the action, I did what is right, I did according to the best knowledge that I have in the current moment in time, and then I will wait and see. And if something wrong happens, then you rectify, you get the experience and you change it. But in the present, I don't have to sit and worry about the future or worry about the past. That is karmatit. Yeah? Does it make sense? This is a big topic actually, but I don't know if it's making sense. Your action shouldn't pull you. The intellect shouldn't be pulled. Yeah, it's making sense.
We have a session completely on karmatit, Didi, once.
Yeah, we should do one session on just being karmatit, right? Now, how to distinguish between being detached and being indifferent? Baba said in the Murli that you have to be detached, and detached meaning whenever you are detached, you will also be very loving. But whenever you're indifferent, what will happen? Who has the experience of it? Anyone?
Home Shanti, sister.
Yes.
So, yeah, I would say indifferent is where you express yourself in a way that you don't care. Whereas when you have unconditional love and you still mean well, you actually want that pure soul to do well in a detached way, not over, like just like a gardener who waters a plant and just sees it blossom, because I practiced this with my own children. And I remember that as they were growing up, fortunately, these thoughts came to me even before I got into Gyan, and it only got reiterated very strongly. And I actually experienced that now. My children are grown up. I have no expectation. I still have a lot of love for them. but I don't expect anything from them. Like it's a very peaceful, loving stage where you're very detached and yet you're very loving. And it doesn't mean you don't care. That becomes indifference. I think I'm just using my practical life example.
Right. That's what it is. Baba is so detached. Yet everybody says my Baba. And Baba gave the example of Dadi Kumarka. Baba gave the example of Dadi Janki in the Murli. Baba gave example of Mama. Nobody ever said your Dadi. They said my Dadi, right? Our Dadi, like that. Nobody said this for Mama, your Mama, my Mama, right? And so that feeling of myness comes because you hold true love for them in your heart. It reaches them, whether they know it or not, but it reaches them. They'll feel that you are very special in their life. They'll feel that you are mine, you know. But if you're indifferent, then they will get the sense of I don't care attitude. Like, I don't care if it's working, it's fine. If it's not working, it's fine. That's not the right attitude, that I don't care, you know. So you have to be careful with this one, that I'm not worried about you or I'm not caring about you. Very simple way to recognize the two. Yeah. Then there was a question, who is a karma yogi? Give some practical ways to become a karma yogi. Excuse me. There is a Murli on this. I don't remember the date, but if I find out, I'll let you know. But karma yogi basically means integration of yoga into karmas, into actions. If I can infuse remembrance into every action that I perform, naturally I become a karma yogi. Yeah. If I can infuse Baba's remembrance in every action I do, I can naturally become a karma yogi. And even a very ordinary looking task becomes extraordinary, because remembrance is involved in that task. And so, for example, practical ways is, for example, when I take shower, I see that Baba's rays of purity are falling upon me. So I'm infusing Baba's remembrance. I'm taking that light of purity and my whole body is becoming pure. I am becoming clean. I am becoming, you know, divine. So like that, if you create such thoughts, you are a karma yogi in that moment. If you are washing dishes, let's say, so just while that process is happening, if you think that Baba also is scrubbing me, my soul, is scrubbing the mind, is cleaning the heart, I'm becoming clean. Just like this dish has become so sparklingly clean, I am also becoming sparklingly clean. So this kind of awareness or consciousness whilst you do that action is a state of karma yogi. Or when you're cutting vegetables and you think, okay, just as I am cutting the vegetables, similarly, Baba is cutting out my sins. My sins are being absolved. And how do you cut your vegetable? Whether there is royalty in it, that there is cleanliness in it. You know, when you have these conscious thoughts, then you can say you're a karma yogi, right? So homework for you. Do you like homework? Whatever actions you do throughout the day, right? Whether you are walking on the street, whether you are driving your car, whether you're talking to somebody on phone, whether you are writing some notes or, you know, writing something, you have a habit of writing, for example, journal or something, or whether you are doing gardening, whether you're doing cooking, whatever actions you're performing, make a list of that and then see how you can transform this into a karma yogi state. How Baba says every lokik action should become alokik. Every lokik relationship should become alokik. So how to make it alokik is by infusing it with Baba's remembrance. That is karma yoga. And there are just two more questions. Do I have time, Rakiben?
Yes, Didi.
Okay, so the next question was, how does one move ahead in all four subjects? Suggest simple ways to move or elevate oneself in the subject of dharana. There are four subjects. What are the four subjects? Who remembers? Those who are new in Gyan, maybe you can answer. I don't know you. You have to recognize yourself. Oh, Yes.
Om Shanti. Gyan Yog service, Gyan Yog service and karma.
Dharna, right?
Dharma,
Vinod
sorry.
Bhai just helped you, Sujata. Okay.
Huh.
So, Gyan, Yog, Dharna, and Seva, right? The knowledge. So when you are studying Murli class, especially for that 1 hour of the daily Murli class, you have to ask yourself, am I able to listen to the Murli without any distraction? And then you create this effort for yourself where every day you will practice to have a lot of concentration while listening to the Murli. And then you grade yourself at the end of the Murli class. How much was I listening stably, in concentration, fully focused, or was my mind wandering? This is the way to increase yourself in subject of knowledge. And pay attention and pick at least 2 points from the Murli class and fit them in your intellect. That these are the 2 points, I'm going to especially focus on them, remember them, and these will be my jewels for today, right? Like that. So you increase your jewels in the apron of the intellect. Second is yoga. Throughout the day, contemplate on those 2 to 3 points, and whatever is needed for those 2 points to come into practical, allow yourself to take power from Baba for that. Let's say, for example, Baba said you should never speak lies. You always have to conduct yourself with honesty. And I have taken that as my dharna point, or as my point of jewel from the Murli today. So I need courage to do that, right? I need a lot of faith that whatever will be the consequence after I tell the truth, it will be all right. So when you sit in yoga, you imbibe those powers that are connected with those Murli points. You need courage and faith in order for you to practice pure honesty in a practical way, right? And then the third was dharna. Now, consciously make effort to speak honestly, right? Consciously make effort to bring that point into practical. So you have imbibed and implemented it into your routine on that day itself. And Baba always says, when I say and you do it at that same time, you get extra points because you just followed the Srimad. So you definitely get a lot of extra points. And then you can also create a chart. Somebody said, especially in the subject of dharna, they want to increase. And so pay attention to the inculcation from today's Murli. Baba said this, one time Baba said, you should call, one time in the Murli it came, Baba said, you have to call even 10 to 20 times to those who have gone a little bit far from Baba, and then call them and invoke them. And I said, Baba, this is too much of an ask, right? I mean, I never like to call people too many times, but then I said, okay, Baba, you've said it, and so I'll do it. And on that day, I made an extra effort to call at least 10 people who I think had a little bit gone far from Baba. And some of them came back, So this is Baba's magic. When we follow Baba's Srimad, then things turn out in our favor, right? And so give yourself a little bit, conscious attention on your dharna for that day. Pay attention, have realizations, and then see how the effort becomes very easy. And then seva. For seva, Baba always says that if you have a heart filled with bhavna, seva will happen automatically. So you just have to create a stage where there is a lot of bhavna for Baba. Then you won't think, oh, I don't have money. How will I do service? Oh, I don't have right understanding of knowledge. How will I do service? Oh, I don't know this. No, just by your bhavna, people can be touched. So your bhavna is what is important. And of course, soul conscious stage is important. One time, Moini Didi was sharing with us that Brahma Baba said to her, or I think Vishwakishore Bhav said to her that if you remain in soul conscious state, then service will happen automatically. So if I remain in soul conscious state, then service will happen automatically. You can feel that Baba is there to help you. You just have to be ready. The stage of the soul has to be ready, right? And then from 22nd Feb 2009, Baba was talking about being knowledgeable and knowledgeful. And especially he was saying that some children don't have the understanding of Maya and they get deceived by Maya, and so Baba was saying they're knowledgeable but not knowledgeful. And in Baba's context, basically he was saying that if you don't have the understanding of Maya, if you don't recognize Maya, then you cannot call yourself as knowledgeful, because I should know who my enemy is. If I don't know who my enemy is, how am I going to prepare myself? How am I going to fight? Right? They say, no, know your enemy. So I have to know Maya. I have to have knowledge of that. I can't be ignorant about Maya and say, oh, I don't know Maya. No. If I have to chase her from far away, then I have to have knowledge of that. Knowledgeable is also sometimes called a silver-aged stage, whereas knowledgeful is golden aged stage, where I understand clearly. And one of the ways that you would know this is if you're deceived again and again and again, then that means you're not knowledgeful. But if you've deceived once and then you transform it and change it, then you become knowledgeful, right? I have the experience of what it looks like being, bossy, right? For example. And so next time, if that same situation appears, then I have the experience of that. And that is called as being knowledgeful. So again, it's a slow journey from being completely ignorant. Baba is first making us knowledgeable, and from being knowledgeable, Baba is making us knowledgeful. So that's how I feel you can change. Just gain more experiences. If any test paper comes, don't be afraid. Know that Baba is there to help you, and know that Baba is allowing you to gain more experience. Have that faith. The more experience you have, the more knowledgeful you will become. And learning from others' experiences as well helps a lot, right? So I did not get time to do reflection, but homework I gave, right? Maybe you can take that as reflection and think and see how you feel about it. Yeah? Anyone wants to say anything, ask anything? I know it's already time up. You all are very quiet.
Yes, each one of us are assimilating these points and reflecting back.
Did anyone feel any contradiction, or there can be another way? And there can be, actually, to be honest. There are many ways to be karma yogi. There are many ways to be karmatit.
One more question, that why following, we know all the rules and regulations, but why it's very difficult to follow sometimes the Brahmin culture?
Why it's difficult to follow Brahmin culture?
For some of us, very means each and every step we have to follow Srimad. So sometimes it happens that it's very difficult to follow, and sometimes because of that, sometimes people leave Brahma Kumaris and Kumari organization. Why is it so?
Perhaps they don't belong here, right?
Yes.
But yeah, I guess you still attached to old beliefs, old ways of doing things, old customs, old knowledge. And Baba says this is your new birth. Unless you feel that I am a Brahmin and I belong to Baba and this is my new birth, then what is my parent teaching me? Everything will be new, no? So I guess you have to feel that love of Baba. And when you have love for Baba, everything is so easy. Everything becomes easy. Maybe initially it's an effort, but if there is bhavna for God, right? If there's love for God, then you are willing to change, you're willing to make that little extra effort. But if you're not at all willing, somebody, I'll give you a very gross example. Recently, we are having Madhuban Experience Retreat in Peace Village, which is next to next weekend. And they say whatever are the rules or, disciplines that you follow to go to Madhuban should be followed here, and only then you will be able to come to this retreat, especially because this is Madhuban Experience Retreat. And so I told them, and many are new but they're following all the principles. Majority are doing, the principles of, like I was saying, Brahma Murth, Brahma Gyan, Brahmacharya, and all of that. And literally one of them asked exactly what does it mean, and I was telling them that whenever you go for bowel movement, you have to take shower. And they were so struck back by that. They said, why don't you tell us in the beginning? This is so, annoying that now I get to know that I wasn't following all the Srimad. And I said, it's okay. Whenever you get to know, you start from that day, right? And she understood the significance of it, and she understood how it helps with purity and cleanliness and all of that. And it took her maybe 1 day or 2 days to kind of, because she's also intellectual, she kind of understand and wrap her head around this concept. But eventually, because she has love for Baba, she has bhavna for Baba, she said, okay, this is not that difficult, I can definitely try. And she's been following it for 1 month now. So it's like, how sometimes you might not like what you're hearing, but it is what it is. And so if you love Baba, you would be able to do, and Baba will reward you for that. You will definitely experience your concentration becoming more easy. If your purity is good, then you will connect with the ocean of purity very easily, right? You will come close to Baba, you will experience Baba's help. Baba will definitely reward you. But if sometimes I get stuck into why and who said and why it's necessary, then, logic is not always, doesn't always get you to the destination, right? Sometimes you have to be irrational. But here there is logic in this example, but still there are some places it doesn't feel like, you just have to see what your bhavna is, how much your love for Baba is, right? So it's okay. I don't have to see others actually also. How much I'm able to do, I can inspire based on that. Yeah, Amita?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for clarifying it.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we end with a moment of silence? If nobody's saying anything.
If anybody has one question, we can take one more, or we can close it. Would anyone like to have any more questions or anything, any sharing?
Question or comment or suggestion. I'm willing to take that also.
Any suggestion? You yourself has told us, let's have one complete session of Karma Yogi and being Karmatit. It's a vast subject in itself. So yeah, we will take up this suggestion from you and look at having these sessions in near future.
Okay, so let's remember Baba with a lot of love and pure heart. Om Shanti. Have a wonderful day ahead, everyone.
Om Shanti. Thank you,
Shanti,
Tita Ben.
thank you, Didi.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you so
Om
much.
Shanti.
Have a nice day.
Good day.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Baba.
Shanti.